This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Today is the first day of Portland's new daytime camping ban. The goal is to get rid of scenes like this that we see all over the city, but they won't go away overnight. In fact, enforcement of the new ban will be slow to start. We'll have more on that coming up in our top story.
We do the work it is that they claim to do at all their facilities.
Prison workers in Clark County are in shock after learning the state plans to shut them down in just a few months. We spoke to community members and employees about their concerns.
And we're also having some fun this morning behind the scenes of the brand new Grand Central Bakery location in downtown Hillsborough. So this is a part of a brand new operation there on Main Street. They're calling it the Main Street Commons. It's going to feature, among other things, a new sizzle pie.
Sizzle pie.
You ever had sizzle pie, Ron?
No, but I like the concept.
It's good. I've had lots of sizzle pie over the years here in Portland, but now they're going to be in Hillsborough, and so is Grand Central Bakery. So yes, Eric Patterson, our trusty Sunrise photographer, he's got the best gig of the morning behind the scenes of the bakery. More on their grand opening coming up a little bit later this half hour. Everyone here, including Blair and Chris and Rod, are at the look. We have a screen right above. We're all getting some of that coming back here to the studio.
Yes. I forget what those things are called, but those are one of my favorites.
Yeah, with the jam.
Yeah, the jam in the.
I think they call them jammers at Grand Central Bakery.
Yes, that's exactly what they call them.
All right, we're done for the morning. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Now we'll be on the way.
Pretty hip place.
Actually, before we go anywhere further on the show, Rod Hill is going to check out our Friday forecast.
Yes, we have morning cloud cover. Now, think about it. We typically get morning clouds in our climate with a west flow or air coming in off the Pacific. So this is a visual clue that could be pretty comfortable out there today. So the clouds are increasing into downtown at this hour. We're at 59 degrees. I think we will be sunny at noon, 73, and I've lowered today's high temperature to 84. Not too bad. Here's Chris McGinnis.
I don't think anyone's going to complain about that after the heat a couple of days ago. Live look at the drive out of Wilsonville. I-5, your northbound traffic headed that direction. We're in pretty good shape there. We'll switch gears real quick. And a reminder that as we go out to the Columbia River Gorge, this is really the only significant traffic issue that we have right now. SR 14 remains closed in the White Salmon area from White Salmon west to milepost 56 for, of course, the ongoing Tunnel 5 firefighting efforts. Otherwise, guys, no other crashes, no unexpected delays on the roads just yet.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Well, a new camping ban is now in effect in Portland. This is the ordinance introduced by Mayor Ted Wheeler back in May and approved by City Council last month. Now, among other things, the ban prohibits camping on city property from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, with a 24-hour ban in places that include parks and areas around shelters and schools. Now, this also affects people who live in RVs or other vehicles. Though the ban starts today, it won't be enforced right away. The city says it'll first focus on education and outreach and plans to let people know when enforcement begins.
Also happening today, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg is in Portland. He's in the Portland area anyways, making some stops starting actually in Washougal. So he's going to start the day there to talk about a project that would create an underpass underneath a busy railroad crossing in Washougal. And then he'll head to Portland itself to meet with local and state officials about ways to improve Southeast 82nd Avenue. Secretary Buttigieg is starting his tour in the Pacific Northwest actually yesterday in Seattle, where he announced new funding to protect the harbor at Port Orchard. He also gave an update yesterday on a Washington project to improve and electrify the state's ferry fleet.
Well, Washington is now under a statewide drought advisory. The State Department of Ecology released this map Wednesday. The yellow areas are abnormally dry and tan areas are a moderate drought. This is an early warning that a drought is possible. Washington just saw its warmest May on record and experienced an abnormally dry spring. And when summer came early, so did the snow melt, and now it's running out. Stream flows are projected to be about 75% below normal.
Late last night, containment of the Tunnel 5 fire went from 5% up to 20%. That fire continues to burn on the north side of the Columbia River Gorge in Skamania County, and so far it's burned about 500 acres. Also, a 10-mile stretch of SR 14 there remains closed. Now, one of our crews actually got a tour of the fire line yesterday, where nearly 500 firefighters are on the ground.
And fire officials say cooler temperatures and high humidity will help in the next few days, but the west winds could still cause some problems.
We are seeing and predicting this is going to be one of our toughest fire seasons to date for a number of reasons. It's hot and dry, and it's hot and dry in every single corner of the state.
Evacuation notices in some areas to the east and west have been lowered to level 2, but the central area is still under level 3 evacuations. The fire started on Sunday and has destroyed 10 homes so far.
There are actually some prison inmates who are fighting the Tunnel 5 fire right now through a work program. But the prison that they belong to is now at risk of being shut down by the state of Washington. So we're talking about the minimum security Larch Correction Center in Clark County. The state of Washington has slated it to be shuttered later this fall. And while it appears that no one will actually lose their jobs, people are now asking the state to reconsider this decision. For more, here's KGW's Alma McCarty.
Community members and corrections workers held a town hall meeting in Battleground Thursday evening to discuss how to stop the impending closure of Larch Correction Center.
Right now we have to fight, and we have to fight to keep this facility open because, as you can see, it has a domino effect to our community and what we do.
We matter here. We're not just some little footnote or something. We matter here. And you need to listen to us.
Attendees say they were shocked to learn the news less than 2 weeks ago that the state planned to shutter the minimum security prison this fall. Department of Corrections officials saying they came to that decision as a response to a decline in the number of inmates statewide.
This isn't making sense. This isn't adding up. What is going on here?
The state's reasoning still puzzling to many. Corrections officers and educators at the prison all see Larch Corrections Center as irreplaceable and invaluable to Southwest Washington.
It gives me hope to see so much positive response from the community, and that we are a strong community and we do all have each other's back.
The Commissioner of Public Lands for Washington State, who is also running for governor, highlighted that those incarcerated are trained to protect the community from wildfires.
We have them currently down in Tunnel 5 fire. Tunnel 5 fire is a huge fire. It is a challenging fire, and we have right now over 40 inmates that are down there who are fighting these fires. It's 10% of our crew comes from Larch.
Inmates also learn other skills that they can use post-release.
Education reduces recidivism by 90%. That is not a joke. That sounds like an insane statistic that you could never say for anything else. And the staff at Larch are supportive of that effort. That is not the attitude that you get everywhere in this world when it comes to corrections education.
We do the work it is that they claim to do at all their facilities.
The DOC says all 115 staff members will be offered jobs at other facilities. And for those who don't want to relocate, they plan to help them find positions locally. However, this group hopes it won't come to that.
If I had a message for the DOC, it would be, I thought we were partners. Have these conversations with your stakeholders so that we're making informed decisions that can do positive things within our state.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Well, let's give you a live look from Grand Central Bakery's new location in Hillsboro. Photographer Eric Patterson behind the camera there. Those are donut muffins with butter, cinnamon sugar. Wow, so good. This is their 8th Portland area location, and the new shop is located on the corner of Southeast 2nd Avenue and East Main Street at Hillsboro Main Street Commons.
Yep.
Also, new Sizzle Pie location and Backwoods Brewing Company also opening at the Commons in just a few weeks.
So Rod and I are kind of sitting here scratching our heads. I guess they took the best part of the donut, and then they took the best part of the muffin.
They put it together.
Smashed it together.
So it's like kind of a sweet, sugary, glazed muffin, I'm guessing.
Donut muffin.
Why should we be guessing about
Well,
this?
I don't
Should
know.
we just have one in front of us to see what it actually is?
I like the concept. I like what they're doing over there.
By the way, we haven't said good morning to Blair yet. Blair's filling in for Christine and Brenda this morning, but she's not doing your job, Rod. You still have to do the weather.
Sorry, Blair. We cut off your big intro with the weather, man.
Hey, Rod, take it away.
All right, we have dry weather out there right now. What you don't see going on is we have a push of low marine clouds at the coast and also starting to come into downtown Portland. We talked about this yesterday, the fact that yesterday's changing weather pattern with the west winds aloft picking up would clear out the wildfire haze, and we would wake up this morning to nothing but good air quality on the west side. That has come true. So that's a great news I get to share with you this morning. Here's Futurecast. Shows the clouds, long view coming into Portland, 8:30 this morning, up and down the coast. It's going to show most of this clearing out. Now, yesterday, I do know that parts of the beach were kind of back and forth, kind of starting to clear and then no. Low clouds and fog kind of set back in. It could be that kind of day again there. Out east, for the first time in a while we've seen this. There's at least a chance we'll start to see some spotty showers and storms develop. So the beginning of that chance is today. Now here's tomorrow afternoon. That's a much more vigorous pattern with storms definitely returning and some lightning strikes expected. Here's Cannon Beach Live on this Friday morning. Haystack Rock, you can see the cloudy skies there. Could be some mist around. 55 degrees is the early number. Clouds have really just the past, 20 minutes or so started to come into downtown Portland. Marine push. 59 is our temperature. 56 down in Eugene. Still having issues with the reporting site down in Salem. That, of course, is operated by the National Weather Service. 68 out in the Dow, 64 degrees in Pendleton. Forecast on this Friday for the beach. Morning fog, clouds. We'll say PM sun breaks. I'm not convinced everybody just gets sunny, but we'll see. 50s and 60s. Winds generally light. It'll be a similar pattern at the coast tomorrow, by the way. Here's the valley today. Corvallis 79. It's pretty comfortable, right? Salem 82, McMinnville 81. Not much cloudiness expected down in the mid-valley, but there could be some pockets before you go out and get sunshine. It is a solid overcast up in Longview, Kelso right now. Battleground, Vancouver is going to start off with cloudy skies, and then we'll get some sunshine and warm out of it. I think we at least get 80 or into the 80s today. Pretty comfortable. Tomorrow, cloudy skies in the morning, more solid. And then Sunday right now just looks to be sunny. The weekend, it looks nice. You know, sadly, it's become a big story in July that I can stand here and tell you there's not one single 90-degree day on that 7-day. Yes!
Whoa, don't hurt yourself, Rod.
I did kind of.
I just thought that's a risky move. All right, we will have more from the non-injured Rod coming up here in a few minutes. But this story is next on Sunrise. Chicano and Latino studies at Portland State are expanding, tapping into more federal aid and support for Hispanic students.
Well, none of us set out to make history. We weren't even really aware that this would be the first major of its kind in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, how all of this led to that new major coming up next here on Sunrise.